Hello, everybody. My name is Linda. I'm your teacher and your Back in a Groove Again coach. And I have just a quick video today. I'm wondering what you're doing to practice your English. Now, as you know, we're all going through a pandemic. Everyone in the world is not strictly on lockdown, but some of us are still in lockdown. Some of us are able to go out and do shopping and be among, family and friends. But I'm wondering if, with all of this that's happening, if you're still practicing your English. Now, one of the reasons I chose this particular background, what do you think, by the way? I think it's pretty cool. I just got myself a new green screen and I'm playing around with the backgrounds. So one of the reasons I chose this one, as you can tell, I've got the moon behind me. I've got a lot of different planets behind me. And then, of course, there's the Earth on this side. So I've chosen this because essentially the world is your oyster. Now this is an idiom, and it means the world is there for you to eat. There's so much that you could learn and so much that's available out there. You simply need to decide on what your goal is. Now, a lot of people want to just have conversations. So your goal is to speak with local people, local teachers, teachers that maybe live in Canada like me, or teachers that live in the United States or that live in UK, and you want to practice conversations with them. Just like what we're doing now, we're just having it's a one-way conversation. It's not a two-way conversation, but you just want to talk about different things, right? Such as, the pandemic, such as your interest, such as your work, such as your family, just regular kind of conversation. And then other people, they want to practice English because they want to travel. Now, right now, not too much traveling going on, but it will happen at some point. So now is the perfect time to start practicing your language to travel. Now, that could be really, really simple because, when you're traveling, you might need to talk to a taxi, you might need to talk to a bus driver, you might need to talk to a hotel clerk, desk clerk at a hotel. You might need to talk at a clerk at an airport, for example, when you're booking your ticket. So you have to think, when would you be using your English when you're traveling? You might want to go to a museum. You might want to go do some shopping. So, if you're going to practice language for traveling, then I suggest that you think, what am I going to need to know when I travel? I remember a few months ago, I was teaching one of my students, and she was practicing because she was going to a conference in San Francisco. And so we initially started talking about the conference and how she was going to get there. And of course, what she would do once at the conference. And of course, once at the conference, she'd be meeting other people who are attending the conference, other conference participants. And so she probably would ask, so are you enjoying the conference? Did you like that last seminar or that last workshop? So again, depending on what you're doing and why you're doing it, you might need to practice for that reason. Other people practice for work. And that's what they start with. They start with wanting to learn the language around business. And sometimes they want to learn idioms because they have coworkers that are working either at international offices, or maybe they work in an international offices and they can hear these business idioms going on and they're going, I don't know what that means, or that doesn't make any sense to me. And so, of course, you might want to work with a teacher to help you learn some business in idioms, of course, idioms. And you might want to practice presenting yourself in front of a team, You might want to prepare a presentation and present that presentation in front of your teacher. Now, especially if you have a presentation coming up. So language needs to be specific to your needs. And so think about it. What is it that you want to practice English for? Traveling, just conversations, just for fun? Is it for work? And so once you know what your objective is, then you can be very specific and ask your teacher for specifically that. Or when you meet, and I'll just tell you a little bit of how we work, how I work with my clients. I will ask you what you want to learn. I will send you forms ahead of time to get an idea of why you want to learn English and what you think your English skills are right now. I just met recently with a student who wants to pass English. He wants to write in English. He wants to speak in English. He wants to be able to read better in English. He wants to speak better in English, overall English skills, because he's hoping to get into the government. I live in Canada. He's in Canada, and English is not his first language. French is. I think it's French. That's his first language. And he still needs to practice some English. So we got together and I asked him some questions. I asked a lot of pointed questions, meaning I zeroed in specifically on why he needed to learn this or this. And sometimes when when I meet with my students, we'll engage in conversations, of course, especially when we don't know each other. If we're just, if I'm just getting to know you and if I'm trying to determine what your needs are, I'm going to have conversation with you to be able to assess if you're able to understand what I've said and if you're able to answer appropriately to my question, I should say. You see, even English teachers make mistakes. I don't have a script in front of me. So all of that to say, whether you're really a good speaker in English or not, practice is going to make it better for you. And so if you do want more information on my services, if you want to talk about how you can bring in more practice into your day-to-day activities, check me out. Go to my website at speakenglishwithconfidencenow.com. You could send me an email as well at linda@speakenglishwithconfidencenow.com. And you can also add a comment to the video below, and I'll gladly respond to you as well. All right, so what are you going to do today for practice? Number one, you need to set yourself a goal. And then after that, you need to decide what is really important within this particular goal for you to learn. Because as you know, even when you're traveling, you might not be able to learn everything that's related to traveling. Even if you're working, you can't learn everything right away when it comes to preparing yourself to work in a business environment. So be very, very specific. You might have a general goal, then you might have a very specific goal as well. All right, that's it. My name is Linda. I'm your teacher. I'm your Back in the Groove Again coach. I'm hoping that I can help you get back in your groove again when it comes to speaking English with more confidence now. Bye now.